All right, President Trump, if you're watching this, please keep watching. I am asking you to please sit down and have an interview with me. I think that perhaps you surround yourself with people who agree with you, and maybe you need to hear another perspective. And maybe I'm not the most educated person to offer that other perspective, but I do feel like, as someone who grew up very Republican, very conservative, very Christian, and as someone who has a lot of family members who also are that way still, I think that we can have a good conversation, and perhaps I can help open your mind to things that you are currently closed to. And I know that there are a lot of people who are going to be mad at me for even offering this interview or trying to get this interview, but I think that a huge problem is people not willing to speak to other people with differing beliefs. I grew up so Republican, so conservative until I met my ex-husband, and because he was willing to talk to me and just try to understand why my mind was so set the way it was, at 21 I completely did a 180.
Which is one of the reasons why you probably divorced and you're labeling him your ex-husband. Yo, listen. Hopefully President Trump isn't watching that, but he's watching my reaction to this. And I would say that don't give her the opportunity to capitalize off of getting an interview, because she didn't even ask for a conversation. She just asked for an interview. I don't think that this Bobbi chick, who has gone viral for several different reasons, which I've never really covered her like that, but now that she's trying to step into the political realm, I think it's a grift. I also, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at it all. You know what I'm saying? If you can get your foot in there, if you can start having conversations, if you can start being more visible, because now you've done interviewing rappers and capitalizing off of it on that front, and now you're trying to make your big switch over into the political commentary by getting the biggest interview that you can possibly get in your life, then cool. But I don't see this as a person that is trying to have a conversation. I see this as a person that's trying to capitalize, and is also trying to be a liberal apologist, especially to people and for people that are not supposed to be in this country, and or trying to make it seem like Trump isn't listening to the American people. The American people voted, and so that's why he's executing on the things that he's executing on. So whether you're talking about, Medicaid, Medicare handouts that is being limited and now forcing people to work, whether you're talking about illegal migrants into this country and the fact that they came over here illegally, and it's holding up the process, even from the courts, it's holding up the process of other people being able to get into here legally, because you're doing it illegally and they need to go back to their country. And Trump gave them an opportunity to deport themselves. Or if you want to talk about the occupation of cities, which is what it's being labeled as, whereas it's really trying to keep our cities safe. And there's never been a better time to be a citizen of DC, because whereas crime was out of control, now they've stopped it. And because they've been able to stop it, they're using it as the blueprint, and they're going into Memphis. And Chicago was pushing back, but Chicago was a hellhole. And Los Angeles is pushing back, but Los Angeles is a hellhole. And New York is about to become one of the worst places ever, but, it is what it is. I don't think that there's a relevant conversation, or that Bobbi here could convince Trump, nor should Trump even be listening to her on what is best for America and Americans versus what it is that she's trying to pitch, just so she can continue to try to capitalize off of the visibility financially by saying that she's had a interview with the president of the United States, the greatest president of our lifetime of the United States of America. And so kudos to her. Kudos to her, because, again, I think that it's awesome that she's leveraging her platform to try to capitalize even more, and she's trying to make the switch over into politics like so many people are, even though they don't know what they're talking about. Now she's talking about she was a Republican until she was 21 years old. What are you talking about? Your brain ain't even fully developed at 21 years old. I was super liberal. Actually, I wasn't super liberal. We were conservative in our ways, but we were liberal in our voting. But the Republican Party or the Democrat Party was completely different than who the Democrats are today. And so I'm assuming that she's appealing based off of things that her ex-husband, who she didn't follow, because that's what she mentioned. That's why he's her ex-husband. I'm guessing she's trying to appeal to him so that she can continue to get her rocks off. But let's hear the rest of what she got to say.
And realized that I didn't know everything and that I was wrong, and it's okay to be wrong and it's okay to change your mind. And I think that a lot of people get mad when people held beliefs and think they can't change their mind, but for this world to get better, people need to change their mind and open their mind and form new opinions. So I don't know, I would love an opportunity to try and speak to you, and obviously just, I don't know, I do think people can change. I changed. If you had met me when I was 18, it was a completely different person who held completely different views than I did at 21. When I met my ex-husband, and he opened my mind, and he really did take the time to understand why I held the beliefs I did without looking at me like I was.
If you had met me when I was 18 versus when I was 21.
Just a horrible person. Even though the beliefs I had, I didn't realize how hurtful they were to so many people. And even with a mother who is Mexican, I still had beliefs that were hurtful. And it's just, I have a lot of Hispanic Mexican family who holds these beliefs that are hurtful to their own people. So with all of that said, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to try to make a positive dent in this world, because
Yeah, we good with that. There's plenty of people in the United States of America that are Mexican Americans, or that came over here and did it the right way, and they are thriving. There are plenty of people that are in the black community and they are doing things the right way and they are thriving. And so we don't give credence to people that are running in the Victim Olympics. I believe that Trump is doing an excellent job. I would not like to see an interview with Bobbi unless he was, because come on, I mean, what are we talking about, right? You know, we talking about a person that has stopped wars. We're talking about people that's getting record investment inside of the United States of America, that is trying to have conversations on how it is that we can leverage Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and trying to stop Russia from destroying Ukraine and all of this stuff. And he's trying to stop multiple different wars, and he's got time to sit there and talk to Bobbi, who I'm not even sure if she has the intelligence or the understanding to be able to have a conversation about why it's important for us to protect American soil. Why wasn't she trying to have these conversations with the Biden administration and Kamala Harris when they were letting tens of millions of people from other countries into this country, especially all of the people that killed people inside of this country? Why wasn't she having conversations about them or with them when Lake and Riley was killed? You know what I'm saying? Why wasn't she having these conversations when several police officers were being maimed and kicked and hurt? Why wasn't she having these conversations when, you know, you seen what was happening in Chicago when they were spending hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal migrants into this country? How we spend all of our tax dollars on illegals for free health care. And we see the Democrat Party holding up the federal government, and now we in a shutdown because they want free health care for migrants. You know, I'm not going, and I don't think that we should ever bend or fold or even compromise when it comes to the things that's best for Americans. It's always going to be America first, always. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. And make sure you tap into the Patreon. It's awesome. We live streaming tonight.